Good morning, friends. Yet again, we have woken up to rather nasty piece of news. The Myanmar military has taken over the reins of the country and has arrested the civilian leadership for now. And it is believed that the military in Myanmar is closer to China. And so it would not be very exaggeration. It would not be exaggeration to believe that uh, now China has quite an influence in Myanmar with the military taking over there. Now there are a number of issues that need to be considered. Myanmar is neighborhood of India, and India has quite a stake in peace and stability in Myanmar. As it is, both India and Bangladesh have been working to repatriate the Rohingya refugees back to Myanmar, but with the latest crisis, it seems like that would not be possible. But India now needs to engage with the West, and the whole of the West, because and the West also needs to make up its mind if it really wants to have some kind of influence in this South Asian region, because it is now quite clear with the recent events that have taken place in Nepal or even in Myanmar, or what's happening in Pakistan. It is quite clear that except India, all of these small nations, even Sri Lanka, the kind of politics that is going on in Sri Lanka, it is quite clear that the whole of the South Asian region, except for India, it is quite unstable and unpredictable, and China is looking to make it so very actively, and this is going to have um, cascading effect on the stability of the whole of the region, all the way extending to the Middle East. So the West needs to really put its difference with India behind, and then really work to not only create a substantial influence in this region, but also make sure that the stability is achieved, at least to the point that the people are in a position to really take it up from there. Because unless that happens, there is going to be such a devastating effect in the world economy, and I think none of the Western powers, because of what's going on in their own domestic politics also, they're not in a position to really come all the way to South Asia or even in the Middle East and really uh, pull strings as they would have liked back in the 90s. They're not in a position to do that. Not economically, not militarily, definitely not. So I think now is the time that the West really puts its differences behind with both India and Russia, and all of these countries need to really take on China and counter the influence that it has, the evil influence that it has on South Asia, but also on the Middle East. Israel also needs to wake up because for quite for and since its inception, it has been struggling against a lot of the Arab states. But I think that problem is now done, and it's looking at a much bigger threat now, with China now wading into the Middle East politics. Um, Russia is more concerned about its own neighborhood. So and having an influence over its own neighborhood, and keeping America and the West away from it. So if Russia is assured of that by the West, I'm sure that Russia would join in India and the West to really work to contain China, because now is the time. There are these small countries; they have absolutely no way of standing up to China, and any destabilizing effect would cause massive human suffering, which is what maybe the evil regime is looking at. So um, I think the stabilizing forces of the world, namely India, the West, and the Russia. I think all of these have to come together. They have to forget their differences, or at least bury them for now, and then maybe we'll have an opportunity to look at them after a few decades when we would have tackled this urgent issue. Thank you.